families, communities, and all the world.
The first 3 months of the 2009 hurricane season have been relatively quiet, and according to its August Atlantic Hurricane Season Outlook, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association expects a near to below normal hurricane season. However, scientists warn that this quiet start does not guarantee quiet times ahead. They say that you should always prepare for a hurricane season regardless of its ferocity. And that is precisely why a signature event of the Ministry of Tourism was created. Here's Kendal Major to tell us more about the Bahamas Weather Conference.
Now in its 13th year, the Bahamas Weather Conference has earned a loyal following, an enviable reputation, and many awards for its effectiveness as a crisis communications program. The pre-hurricane season event is an important forum for Bahamian and U.S. meteorologists and has effectively raised awareness of the particular concerns and geographical features of the islands of the Bahamas.
Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Vincent Vanderpool Wallace, explains the value of the conference to the Bahamas, saying we don't give points to people who forecast rain, but to people who build arcs.
We always talk about saving lives, and that's what the ARC was all about, in terms of making sure that we save lives first in these hurricanes, because it's pointless talking about the economy if that's not your principal focus. So, but beyond that, we also get into the metaphor of saving our economy in very many special ways, because by reason of what has been done over the years, there are people who are making decisions that are not so disruptive to our economy. It's a very smooth decision-making process to evacuate people, get them ready and prepared to an area, or tell people not to come right now. We'll provide you with the information in ways that will so much better. So in terms of physical saving of lives and also saving our economy, this has been one of the most extraordinary things we've ever done.
The Bahamas Weather Conference has grown remarkably since it was first held.
I remember the first conference really was about 17 people. There were no TV crews. It really was a geographic lesson focused on mapping with USA Today and the Weather Channel, the National Hurricane Center. And it's a pleasure to see what began as a communications effort really evolve into almost a public policy effort with the U.S. National Hurricane Center and with the media, where you actually are saving lives and you actually are making a difference.
A roster of top experts made their way to the Bahamas for the conference, which was described as a gold mine by the director of the National Hurricane Center, Mr. Bill Reid.
And very rarely do we bring a whole bunch of media together and talk nothing but hurricanes. Usually you're only talking to, like we'll visit a city, we'll talk to the media in that city, and then we'll move to another city. This way you get a whole group of people with our latest thinking and some of the lessons learned before, and they go back, and I think that advances the knowledge within the news media, the weathercasters and the news media for furthering the cause of educating the public on the outside. That's the beauty I see of this kind of a conference.
This year's weather conference covered a wide variety of topics, including storm surge from hurricanes, financial crises, catastrophic risk and property casualty insurance, increasing public distribution of official government hurricane forecasts and emergency messages, hurricane-resistant construction, global warming, and more. How is this information incorporated into weather forecasts?
Preparation, emergency evacuation, they touch on building codes, they touch on insurance.
The role of meteorology in terms of impacting government policy was also addressed. Mr. Reid referred to Hurricane Katrina as a key example.
When you get into a real event like that is coming in at almost historic proportions, it becomes extremely critical. You're briefing people all the way from literally at the White House level all the way down to your state and local emergency managers, and you have to make very clear what you're trying to get across as to what the threat is so they take the right actions.
He is hopeful that as a result of the conference, meteorologists will become more precise with the information they disseminate when tracking hurricanes.
We're much better off showing people this is the area most likely to experience the direct landfall of the eye of the hurricane, but people on either side of that are going to experience maybe less than the maximum impact of the storm. It only takes a few more seconds to say what I did, but I think doing that will be more correct than saying this line on the map represents exactly where the storm will go.
For local weather professionals, the conference provides the opportunity to share information and technology.
They do help us along the way in providing knowledge, exchanging knowledge. We tell them about the vagaries of the weather here in the Bahamas. They tell us about the latest technology that they have. They provide the training, sometimes locally, sometimes we send our persons to the National Hurricane Center. So there's that exchange that build capacity and institutional strengthening all around.
Director of Meteorology, Arthur Rolle, says the conference is a very good one in that it provides a much-needed public awareness campaign for the Bahamas and persons in the United States.
Once they see what is going on, have a better understanding of where the Bahamas is, has a better understanding of the tourist products of the Bahamas. Locally, what we do, we get to know more about hurricanes and the impacts that they have on our small islands.
The Weather Conference has become more than just a science of weather, but it is a great promotional tool for the Bahamas.
We have nearly 100 meteorologists from stations, television stations, all across North America and beyond that come here and broadcast live back to their home country, their weather forecast from this conference. So we have every single day for the next 2 days where people are talking to communities that we never talk to in this kind of detail, and they're on the air for however long the weather forecast is lasting on their station, talking about the islands of the Bahamas for some period of time. The value of that, and we keep talking about things that we couldn't pay for, that has been extraordinarily useful.
This was the second year that Chris Franklin of Fox 8 in New Orleans came to the Bahamas for the conference, which he describes as very beneficial.
I find that we are the ones that the public knows and is trusting for information. And what's great about conferences like this is that you're able to see what new or innovative research or other studies are being done within weather events, and specifically for someone along the Gulf Coast or in the tropics is hurricanes. And it takes one of us coming to a conference like this to learn what's happening.
The 2009 hurricane season, which began June 1st, is ending its historical peak period of August through October when most storms form. However, thanks to the Bahamas Weather Conference, viewers will be given up-to-date, accurate information on how to prepare and weather the storm. For Tourism Today, I'm Kendal Major.
A cooperative effort to improve the competitiveness of pilot destinations and tourism activity clusters with a view to making the Bahamas a more sustainable tourist destination is proving to be quite valuable. STEM was sparked from a national emphasis on supporting sustainable practices and products. However, as Raquel Horton tells us in this report, it has come to mean so much more to the small hotelier.
The Sustainable Tourism Entrepreneurial Management and Marketing Project, also known as STEM, is a project conducted by the Bahamas Hotel Association in cooperation with the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism, the Bahamas Antiquities Museums and Monuments Corporation, and the Caribbean Alliance for Sustainable Tourism with support from the Inter-American Development Bank. STEM targets small and medium-sized entrepreneurs in tourism that have not fully benefited from the traditional approach to management and marketing that is typical of larger properties and businesses. It emphasizes business operations, environmental management, and marketing competitiveness, and provides real hands-on assistance through its consultancy program.
The small hotelier has a lot of concerns to manage a property. As the manager and proprietor, he's the manager, he's the accountant. As we say in Bahamian, he is the chief bottle washer doing everything. So this forum STEM is going to afford these properties the technical assistance in some of the areas where they are deficient, from top to bottom, from marketing to operational and to energy savings.
Thanks to the IDB grants that fund STEM, the Bahamas Hotel Association was able to assemble a team that would actually go out to small hotels and assist them with the technical aspect of running their business, which they couldn't have done ordinarily.
Number one, it's expensive to hire an accountant. Number two, it's expensive to hire someone to come and talk about energy management. They just couldn't have done it ordinarily. So the STEM project helps them with that in a cost manner.
The forum is particularly important when one considers the global economy and its impact on tourism.
We are going to have this challenge dealing with the long-reaching arms of the economy in the United States and globally for that matter. And so this forum here today is going to help us fine-tune and to enlighten them, wake them up, shake the dilly tree a little bit and say, look man, hard times are ahead of us. What can we do tomorrow and moving forward to be prepared for those hard times?
Bill Meade is the Vice President of PA Consulting Group out of Arlington, Virginia, who specializes in helping hotel facilities to save money by going green.
Consumers are more knowledgeable, and whereas 10 years ago when we started this, the hotels were in a sense educating their guests as they came on why they're doing it. Now you can almost be assured that the visitors who come already know why it's important to do it. So then the importance is making sure that they see that it's in practice at your property.
He offers forum attendees practical steps that he would like to see all hotels adopt, beginning with basic equipment.
And I would use things like energy efficient air conditioning system, refrigeration, solar hot water, one of the things I mentioned in my presentation, energy efficient lighting in the public areas, controls, things like timers so that lights go on and off automatically.